All right, let's talk New Orleans Saints. Now that the draft is well behind us, we like to take this time to cover every single team and go through their draft selections, their undrafted free agents, and look for great moves, smart strategies, hidden gems, great steals, high value, whatever you want to call it. We always go through each team to try and find what are teams doing? What are the moves no one is talking about? And the Saints made one addition in particular that I think was a massive value get, an incredible steal, whatever cliche you want to use. The Saints really did a great job with this move. We'll get to that in 1 second. But first, I'm Nick. That's Andrew. And this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, obviously the Saints made big news in the first two rounds of the NFL draft, of course, getting potentially the franchise quarterback in round two. But much later in the draft, they picked up a massive steal and an incredible weapon for this offense. Let's get into the tweet first to refresh everyone's memory about this player. This is courtesy of the New Orleans Saints. With the 184th pick in the NFL draft, the Saints select Kansas running back Devin Neal, right? Neal was obviously a very productive, really good player for Kansas for a number of years, but people need to understand how good of a player Devin Neal was throughout his tenure with the Kansas Jayhawks. Let's go into this first graphic here just to get you his high level stats, right? His freshman year, got some playing time, did some good things, right? 2021, 700 yards, 8 scores. That's good. 2022, he kind of breaks out. Almost 1,100 yards, 6 yards per carry, 9 touchdowns. But really, those last 2 years, folks, look at that volume. 16 rushing touchdowns each of those last 2 years. Love to see that. More than one rushing touchdown per game, averaging 6.3 in 2023, 5.8 in 2024. So averaging out about 6 yards a carry, almost 1,300 yards both seasons, getting 16 touchdowns per season, right? So again, just to take a step back, over the past 2 seasons, he's essentially getting consistently 1,300 yards, averaging 6 yards per carry, and 16 rushing touchdowns. That's really good raw production in a good conference, the Big 12. Now let's go a little deeper into the analytics here, courtesy of PFF. This is where it gets really exciting. So this is PFF, again, breaking down his numbers, and you can compare to the rest of the running back landscape in the college football world in 2024. You can see they have it broken out by percentiles here. On the far right is if you're in the 99th percentile, means you're the best of the best. Far left would be the first percentile, which means you're the worst of the worst. You can see rushing grade, very far to the right, one of the best of the best. Zone grade, pretty far to the right, one of the best of the best. Gap grade, much of the same. Even his worst rating in terms of compared to his peers, elusive rating, 85.7, is still significantly above average, significantly to the right. So you can see here the New Orleans Saints got a really good player, whether it's a gap scheme, zone scheme. We know the Saints are going to want to try and do both this upcoming season with Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore is a very versatile offense. They do a lot of different things, but overall, he is a really, really effective player. But when we open this video, and then we're going to kind of go into our final chart here before I throw it over to you, Mize. I'm a big charts guy, big Microsoft Excel channel here. Let's talk about value here for a second. Let's talk about the fact this could be a huge steal for the New Orleans Saints. So in this chart in front of you, you can see you got the single bar here. You got the little bit of red on top of the big chunk of blue. Basically, the red plus blue takes a look at Devin Neal's big board ranking according to PFF, and based on that ranking, 102 in this case, goes to the draft value chart and said, okay, how many points is that worth? And it's worth about 80-ish points, 80 points or so. So that little red there is the value of the 184th pick, the pick the Saints used to pick Devin Neal. So you can see that blue right there is nothing but value for the New Orleans Saints. That's the delta between the value of Devin Neal as a prospect on the big board versus the amount of draft capital, pick 184, the Saints gave up to pick him. So not only did they get a great player, we highlighted it, very productive, multi-year starter, great touchdown score, nose for the end zone. Love to see that. 6 yards a carry averaging last 2 seasons. PFF grades, advanced analytics, outstanding stuff. So they got a great player, but they also got incredible value. This is phenomenal work by the New Orleans Saints. Again, all eyes are on Kellen Moore. What are they going to do at the quarterback position? Spencer Rattler, Tyler Shucks. Whatever's going to happen with Derek Carr, I think his time with the New Orleans Saints is rapidly coming to an end. But I think more people need to pay attention to Devin Neal, because when it's all said and done, this selection right here may be one of the biggest moves any team made in the 2025 draft. All right, Miles, that is enough for me for right now. I just basically said my whole piece on Devin Neal. I know you've got a few thoughts, though. But first, Saints fans, in the comment section below, grade the selection of Neal for us here as we've gone through everything, as we've gone through his numbers, the analytics, the value here. Maybe you think it's a C move. You're still waiting to see. Maybe you really love it. Maybe you've always loved it, think it's an A+, or maybe you hate it for some reason, give it an F. Whatever it is, grade the Saints selection of Neal here in the 184th, 183rd, whatever it was, pick in the 6th round. Grade this move by the New Orleans Saints in the comment section below. But Mize, over to you now. What are your thoughts on the selection of Neal and just everything going on with New Orleans right now?
Yeah, Nate, this guy's actually really impressive when you go like super high level outside of football as well. He's just a very athletic individual as always. And this used to be the trend in the quarterback game for a long time now. But this is a guy who is a four-star recruit and got a lot of D1 looks and actually committed to Kansas to play baseball as well. Played baseball his first 2 years at Kansas before going full time on football. But this guy, he's just a really athletic type of player, can do a lot of good stuff. Maybe baseball, arm strength. Are we thinking outside, backfield type of passes? Could be something. Never really know. But with Kellen Moore, it could be some trickery, some interesting play calls going on here. But I love when you look at everything going on with the Saints here. You see all of what they've gotten in this guy. This is a guy who, in 4 years at Kansas, every year was at least an honorable mention to the All Big 12 conference team. In 2023, his junior year, he actually made second team All Big 12, but he was at the very least an honorable mention every single season. So from freshman year to senior year, this guy was contributing and he made an impact in the Big 12. He goes on, he led the team his final season in rushing yards, and that's, no dub because he actually set school records for career rushing yards with 4,343 rushing yards, rushing touchdowns, 49 touchdowns, total touchdowns with 53 touchdowns, as well as becoming the first player in Kansas history to rush for 1,000 yards in 3 separate seasons. He's did so much at Kansas. I love it. He's a valuable part of that team. So much so, he's a team captain his last year at Kansas. This guy seems like more than just the stats on the paper. He seems like a guy that came into a program, he was committed to them. He probably could have left in the transfer portal and gone on to other bigger places around the country, but he stayed there. He kept that team together. They went through some good years, they went through some bad years together. He did a lot of really good stuff in that team captain aspect. We love that here on this channel as well. A running back being a team captain like that, I think is tremendous. I think he adds a lot of value, and I think he's going to be a valuable locker room guy for this Saints team as well. We know the Saints, Alvin Kamara, really great running back that got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Will he ever even be good again? I don't know. But I think this addition of Devin Neal, this is the future of the Saints running back position. How long will they give Kamara another contract after his contract runs out? I'm not so sure. But I think having Devin Neal on the roster at least makes you think this could be the next big thing for the Saints. This could be the next value pickup for the Saints here. And I really like what Devin Neal brings to this team. I think he's going to be valuable in more ways than one.
Yeah, and if you look at his profile according to NFL.com, it's really wild. So I'm going to go ahead and read you the overview from Lance Zierlein, and I think Saints fans, you guys will love to hear this. Zierlein said he's a workload runner with NFL size and 4 years of steady production, runs with a nice blend of patience and decisiveness to choose the right lanes and maximize each carry. He lacks top end burst and speed, which will shrink the field for him, but he's a fall forward runner with good contact balance and a nose for short yardage conversions. He has good instincts and soft hands in space and can help as a leak out or swing pass option. His blue collar approach isn't exciting, but it is effective. And Neal has the ability to develop into a 3-down back. So this is, again, something really important to really highlight why guys fall in the draft. When it comes to Neal, the biggest question, of course, is his lack of explosive throw, game breaking, home run hitting, elite level burst and speed, right? He ran in the high 4.5s. And then when you look at Neal and you watch his film and you look at his numbers, it's all really, really good. But there's no element of it that is exciting, right? It's almost boring. He's incredibly productive, hyper efficient in the red zone, great at converting on third down and shorts, fourth down and short, things like that, all short yardage situations. He just does everything really well. He does a lot of things well. Is he elite at anything? No. Is he the world's best receiving running back? No. Does he have breakaway speed? No. Does he have the greatest elusive rating in the world? No. But he's just really, really good at being a football player, every down back, running back, and he proved it. He proved it the moment he stepped on Lawrenceville, the University of Kansas University's campus. I think it's University of Kansas campus. Productive running back, like you mentioned, at least honorable mention, all Big 12 every single season he was there. He is just a good football player. And what kind of happens in the draft, especially when you get to day 2, day 3 range, you have a lot of these prospects that teams just go away from, even though they're good football players, because they don't have something exciting about them. There's no wow factor. But when it gets to a point, I just want good football players because look, 40-yard dashes don't win you games, right? Home run hitters sometimes can, right? Maybe 150 or 60-yard run a couple times a season, that can maybe flip a game for you. But give me the guy that'll get 5 yards every time. Give me the guy that will fall forward and make sure I get to 2nd and 6 and not get stuck in 2nd and 9. Give me the guy when it's 4th and 1 gets the first down. That's exactly who Devin Neal is. And I think that's why this is such a great move by the New Orleans Saints. He is a huge weapon, right? When people think of weapons and playmakers, we all tend to think, oh, who's the guy who can catch a 10-yard slant and go for 60? Or who's the guy who can have that 70-yard run? These real weapons are guys that can turn every carry into +3 yards. Instead of 2nd and 8, it's 2nd and 5. Instead of 2nd and 6, it's 2nd and 3. Instead of 3rd and 1, you run up the middle, get stuffed, punt. 3rd and 1, you fall forward, you get 2 yards, first down, drive continues, go on to score points, right? Those are the playmakers. Those are the weapons that a lot of people really sleep on, not the New Orleans Saints here when it comes to Devin Neal. Obviously, statistically, analytically, Neal was a great player. The value speaks for itself. We brought up the chart earlier in this video. But I think when it's all said and done, the only thing that truly matters here is that the New Orleans Saints got a really, really good football player. And that's what the draft is about. Getting good football players, getting playmakers. And that's exactly what Devin Neal will be for New Orleans in this Kellen Moore offense. Not just in this upcoming season, but I believe for many years to come.